ChatGerry, Stroke Risk Estimation, Not Prediction, Using Topology, number 1536, VPT 089, February 15, 2026, Gerald C. EclaireMD Foundation, Category Stroke. Preface: my way of thinking does not come from a single academic major. It comes from combined training in mathematics, physics, engineering, computer science, and many years of self-study in biomedical science. These disciplines taught me to see systems instead of isolated numbers, to follow long-term trajectories instead of single snapshots, and to understand failure as a process of accumulation over time. Because of this foundation, I do not see glucose, blood pressure, vascular stiffness, or aging as separate laboratory values. I see energy flow, structural deformation, stability margins, and failure thresholds. I see a movie instead of a single frame. This is the same cognitive framework that allowed me to build a semiconductor AI company without formal training in electronic engineering. Today I'm applying the same way of thinking to a living biomedical system because I needed to save my own life after facing multiple chronic conditions, mortality diseases, and a hemorrhagic stroke. I write these papers so other patients can understand this structural way of seeing disease and use it in their own lives. If we understand disease as a long process of metabolic load and structural change, we can intervene early and avoid catastrophic events. This paper applies that unified framework to the geometric topology-based estimation of stroke risk. Introduction. After my stroke on June 21, 2025, I asked direct questions. Why did I not see it coming? How could I have reduced its likelihood? I cannot predict an exact date of a stroke, but I should be able to estimate structural vulnerability and relative risk. In real life, patients must monitor many biomarkers, including pulse pressure reflects arterial stiffness, where PP equals SBP/dBP. Mean arterial pressure represents the continuous pressure that drives blood to the organs, where MAP equals dBP plus BP3. These two parameters are especially important for stroke because they describe both vessel condition and loading, based on measurable variables. I further developed the following three equations: total CVA risk equals base CVA vulnerability index, X trigger sensitivity index TSI, where TSI equals PP 45 x SBP 120 base CVA vulnerability index equals FPG 90 x 0.3 plus PP 45 x 0.2 plus MAP over 85 x 0.1 plus real age 67 x 0.4. Topological data analysis, TDA methodology. Topological data analysis is a geometric method. Instead of looking at numbers one by one data, it places each year of data as a point in space. When these points are connected in time order, they form a trajectory that shows the direction of disease progression or recovery. In layer 1, the axes represent glucose and vascular load, both PP and MAP. In layer 2, the axes represent age, baseline vulnerability, and trigger sensitivity. In both layers, the vertical axis is CVA risk. All variables are normalized, so their shapes can be compared directly in 3D plots and 2D radar charts. This transforms tables of numbers into visible structures. TDA results. Both layers show clear clustering of high-risk years. The same years move into similar geometric regions even though the physiological meanings of the axes are different. The trajectory between low-risk and high-risk states is continuous, confirming that stroke risk develops over a long period rather than appearing suddenly. The 2D radar charts provide a second confirmation. High-risk years form expanded shapes, while low-risk years remain compact. This shows that risk is created by the combined effect of multiple factors, not a single abnormal value. Conclusions. The TDA geometric results reach the same structural conclusions as the VMT energy analysis. High-risk years form a consistent cluster, and the system moves between stable and unstable states along a continuous trajectory that closely resembles the stress-strain relationship in the VMT energy model. This demonstrates that stroke is a dynamic process of energy accumulation and structural deformation. The agreement between VMT and TDA is important because they come from completely different academic foundations. When both show the same pattern, the conclusion becomes much more robust. TATA provides geometric state validation in space, while VMT provides energy-based causality in time. Both describe the same underlying disease process from different perspectives. This allows high-risk conditions to be recognized earlier and provides a practical opportunity for prevention through lifestyle improvement and metabolic load reduction. Disclaimer: I write this paper not for fame, but to share what I have learned so others can understand their health, prevent disease, and live longer, healthier lives. This content is provided for educational reference only and does not constitute medical advice. No doctor-patient relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered, edited, or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to the author, Gerald C. This content is provided for educational reference only and does not constitute medical advice. No doctor-patient relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered, edited, or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to the author, Gerald C.